Guys, so last week I did a devotion on Andrew, and I talked a little bit about just the facts about Andrew and about how he was in second place to Peter, but it didn't really bother him because God's kingdom was getting glorified and he was okay taking second place. And that's really, really cool, and I encourage you to go back and watch that one. But this week we're starting part 2, and we're going to talk about how even though in the first 3 Gospels, Andrew's not mentioned very much, he's not mentioned a lot, and you really don't get to see any of Andrew's heart. But in John, you start seeing him emerge and his characteristics and his heart emerge. So 3 instances in John, Andrew just comes out and you see him as a person. And in that first instance, we're going to talk about all 3 of them, and then we're going to talk about the common factor, which is the big picture. First, Andrew brought Peter to Jesus in John 1:40-42, which we talked about last week. This was very selfless. He didn't say stingy and say, nah, I'm keeping Jesus to myself. He shared him with Peter, even though it meant Andrew took second place. 2, the boy with the loaves and fish. And this is in John 6:8-9, and I'm fixing to read it. It says, one of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, there's him living in Peter's shadow again, but it says, said to him, there is a boy who has 5 barley loaves. I want to redo that. Okay. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, there is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but what are they for so many? So even though this boy didn't have much, Andrew was still going to bring him to Jesus. And I mean, I feel like Andrew's somebody that was like, it's not a lot, but here, whatever you can do with it, Jesus. He believed that anybody could be used by Jesus, or at least that's what I read in my devotion. And then number 3, he brought the Greeks to Jesus along with Philip. And I'm going to go into that a little bit later, like in a different devotion, maybe, I don't know. Because I feel like there's some lessons you can pull out of that in itself. But that's in John 12:20-22 if you want to go read it. And this proves that Andrew saw that the gospel was for everybody. It wasn't just for Jews. It was for everybody. Jews, Gentiles, every people group, every age, every color, men and women. Like, it was for everybody. He saw that the gospel was for everybody, not just one people group. So the common factor of all of those stories is that Andrew is bringing people to Jesus, and every single one of them. The first one, he's bringing Peter. The second one, he's bringing the boy with the loaves and the fish. The third one, he's bringing the Greeks. Every time that he is doing something that we see and that we hear about, it's bringing somebody to Jesus, which is what every Christian should be doing. The last words are important. Like if somebody says, here's your opportunity for your last words, you're going to choose something of meaning because that's important. And Jesus' last words before he ascended to heaven were the Great Commission. So we're supposed to be sharing him and bringing people to him, and that's what Andrew was doing. And that's one reason I think Andrew was so cool. Not only was he okay taking second place because he realized we were all a member of the same team for God, but he was always bringing people to Jesus. He had this thing figured out about the Great Commission. It didn't matter if they were in the same house as him, if they were a different people group, if they had little, he was going to bring them. And that's how we should be. It shouldn't matter if somebody is rich or poor, or if somebody is in our family, or they're across the world, or if they're black, or if they're white, or if they're young, or if they're old. It doesn't matter. We need to bring everybody to Jesus because that's what we're here for. And so I just think that that's really cool. George McGillen, I think it is. Yeah, George Milligan, in his article on Andrew in the Dictionary of Christ and the Gospels, basically says that Andrew was the first foreign and home missionary because he brought Peter to Jesus, but he also brought Greeks to Jesus. So it's really, really cool. Andrew is also known as bringing like the gospel to several countries, but one of these groups is called the Scythia, or it's a place, I don't know, but I don't really know how to say it, but these people, Bingel describes them as more barbarous than the barbarians, and Joseph has said that they were a little different from wild beasts. Andrew brought these people to Jesus. He literally was just, sounds like he was grabbing them left and right. Like, come on, let me take you to Jesus. And that's what we need to be doing because that's what the Great Commission is, guys. And I'll admit, I'm not the best at it either. I think I may have led not very many people in the sinner's prayer. Not as many as I should have. I've been here for 20 years. And I have not led as many people to Jesus as I wish I have. And I've been disobedient and not shared the gospel when I needed to. And that stinks. And I wish that I had. And I wish that I was bold enough to walk up to people on the street and say, hey, do you know Jesus? And I'm praying that I'm going to get there. But it's hard. But it's doable. Andrew proves that to us. We got to get this boldness. We've got to fulfill the Great Commission. The Holy Spirit, I'm reading this book on the Great Commission, and it says that the Holy Spirit comes to empower us. And so if you have the Holy Spirit, you're empowered to do this thing. We've got to start sharing the gospel with people better and more often, and we have got to start bringing people to Jesus like Andrew did. Imagine if every time somebody saw you, you were bringing somebody new to Jesus. That would be so cool. I want to be that kind of person. I want to bring people to Jesus. Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Another fun fact about Andrew, well, maybe it's not fun, but he died as a martyr for Jesus, which he lived his whole life for Jesus. And I just think this guy's so inspirational, and I think he's so underrated, but that's just me. And y'all can let me know if y'all think he's underrated too. But y'all, let's just get better at fulfilling the Great Commission. Let's be more like Andrew and bring people to Jesus no matter how different or alike they are to us, because the gospel's for everyone. And it's our job as Christians to fulfill the Great Commission. So, I love you guys. Y'all introduce somebody to Jesus this week. And, yeah. So, and pray about it, because God will help you. I feel like I just challenged y'all to do that, and I'm going to have to do it. And now I'm a little scared. But it's okay. We're in this together. We're on the same team. So, I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week.